start with Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Jim, I called you because the hand's been up for 5 minutes. Just don't ask me Champions League questions, please.
Okay, fine. We'll pass on that. I think it's Europa League anyway today. So
you can ask me whatever you want. Ask me Europa League. Let's go. Let's kick it off. Let's kick it
well,
off.
I won't have too many more opportunities since season's coming close to an end. Coach, 3 games left. What's sort of the goal for the next 3 games for you and the team? What do you like to see from the team? And you obviously have 2 more home games left. Is there any sort of goals or progress you're expecting to see?
Yeah, to finish strong, man. We fight and we compete and we play all the way to the end. And, as long as we have games in front of us, we need to play, and we're professionals and we need to do our job. We have 2 home games, regardless of what's happened. I think it's super important. And I've stressed this to the team, is to finish strong at home, to leave whatever it is, the last game, the last 2 games, just a good picture in the end of the season. I know it hasn't been, a season with a lot of great moments throughout of it. There's been a lot of close games, a lot of games that, that we just, disappointing for all of us and for the fans. So I think it's just important, to do whatever we can to finish on a positive note, to leave a good picture, especially we're playing at home, to compete hard, to leave everything on the field, to bring that intensity, energy, and commitment. That's non-negotiable. I mean, that for me shouldn't even have to be telling you guys this, or to the players, and to finish as strong as we possibly can. I think that's the message. That's the most important thing. There's nothing else. As long as we have games, we're professionals, and we need to, never forget how fortunate and lucky we are to be doing what we love doing, and we have to show that when we step on the field competing, especially here at home.
Well said. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
No Europa League questions? Come on, buddy.
Well, who do you got today? Any interesting matchups?
I don't know. You tell me. You throw it out there, and I'll tell you. You throw it out there.
I mean, I think I'm thrown off, first of all, that Europa League's on a Wednesday, not on a Thursday. I'm so used to the old schedule now. This whole. Do you like, Coach? Do you like this new setup for the Champions League and everything?
I don't know. It's just I don't, and I just think at some point it's like, I mean, I always, for me, it's just so many games, high level games for these players. It's just it's amazing what they expect out of the players, with especially the guys that are playing at the highest levels with league play, and then Champions League, and then guys have national team duty. It's just so much. So many games. It's just amazing for me when and that's the thing, when you look at these top players, their ability to perform at the highest level every game, it's just amazing. But at some point, you have to think about recovery, you have to think about injuries, you have to think about how that impacts the quality of the game. I think that's the most important thing. We should never forget that. I think it's getting a little bit out of hand.
I agree with you. That's well said, actually. Perfect. Great note to end on. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Joe Chats from On Tap Sportsnet.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Frank. How you doing today?
Joe, I'm great. Just letting you know that Jim was on with the hand raised 5 minutes before the call. So
there you go.
That's
A+ work. I applaud it. Curious, just going against Toronto this weekend. Obviously, the team had a lot of success in that first matchup, but they're a team that struggles at times, but still finds a way to get quality. Obviously, they're playing tonight. Just curious, what do you think is going to be tough about dealing with Toronto on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, they have Bernardeschi. I think in transition, when you can isolate him in 1v1 situations, it's really extremely difficult to contain. He's an inverted winger, likes to come in on his left foot. Evan Senior plays. I mean, obviously, they have the national team players back with Osorio. So in the build-up, they're a good team. They want to move the ball around. They're a possession team. And then, obviously, they're in transition moments where they can isolate Bernardeschi. They have some quality players in moments where they can have an impact in 1v1 situations, and players that can impact the game, in moments where you don't expect them to. They have that kind of quality. So we played them the first game. Obviously, the first half was a little bit slow for us. And then, I think that we had some goals in key moments. And I think that's the key thing, I think, in that matchup. And then we were able to control the game. We were good in possession. And then we picked our moments. And then we finished our chances. So they play tonight against Vancouver. The Cup final, we'll be watching that. And we're preparing. The good thing for us, I think, slowly now, it's getting Hugo back in training this week. I think that's been a big plus for us the last couple of days. It's great to have him in training. Rafa's been training. He trained today, so hopefully no setbacks. Still a couple guys that are out, but at least to get some of those veteran guys, with the leadership of Rafa, and then a guy with Hugo that he's such a potent striker and a threat. It's good to have him with us.
Understood. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Tim Hotze, Men in Red 97.
Hi, Frank. Your point about managing games and minutes, I think, is really well taken. And one of the things, Toronto has the Canadian Championship match tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, some big names that sort of change the way the team plays on that squad. With a
Definitely.
CONCACAF spot on the line, I'm wondering if your approach to the game changes based on who it looks like plays, who goes 90 tonight, so who may be available or rotated on Saturday for them.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the first game they were missing also a couple players, but they rested Bernardeschi and Cine. I mean, they didn't start the last game, so I assume that they will put their best foot forward to tonight. That's for sure. I mean, it's a final, so unless there's injuries, I don't foresee anything different. For us, I think the most important thing is just to assess to see how guys are, and the healthy guys that we have, and I think that's still a little bit of a question mark, Tim. And Gutman is still running on his own, so there's a question mark with him. Tehran is still not involved with us. That's a question mark with him. I think Rafa trained today, so with him with his ankle that he had issues. It's also how he's able to recover tomorrow and how he feels tomorrow. It's good having Hugo back. I talked about that, so that's a big plus for us because he's a guy that's such a threat with his movement and just being on the field. I think his ability to attract defenders frees up space for other guys, and he's such a threat for us in the final third. So we're going to watch the game tomorrow, but I think the most important thing is just making sure and assessing how our guys are and putting the best guys that are in form for this game. We're playing at home. We need to come out with energy and intensity, Tim, and a commitment in this last home matches that I think that the players that step on have to do whatever it takes for the team to get the result. And I think for me, it's just assessing and putting the guys that are healthy and the guys that are in most form right now onto the pitch, and the guys that what you're going to get from for 90 minutes.
Great. And one other thing about championships, the U.S. Open Cup Finals also tonight. I asked you before the season started when it wasn't clear whether the Fire first team would be able to participate, what your perspective was. I just wanted you to reflect a little bit. Obviously, Kansas City going for their possible fifth. It's a team that you once played for, so some history with you personally there, and what it means to you to be sort of like the team not having been able to participate and what you're watching tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, look, you look at the history of the club, and we were, at one time king of the cups early on, and it's a tournament. It's a final within 5 games, so I always enjoy that tournament. I think it's a special tournament in the history of the club. So I think this year, our MLS Next team participated. We put guys, I think to help early on into the games, and I think most MLS teams approach it obviously different. I mean, in early rounds, they use a lot of MLS Next players to participate in that. So I love the tournament, and then obviously it's huge in the history of the club. And for Kansas City, I think it's a big moment for them. I think their season, they're out of the playoffs, so you have this one special moment that you can put everything into it and possibly can change the season for them with a victory. They could be the first team, I think, MLS team to 5. I think, if I'm right, I think with them, Seattle, Kansas City, us, we're at 4. So it's a special night for them. And like I said, it can change a whole season around for them. So I'm sure that in a difficult place in LAFC, they'll put everything into it. And it's a final, anything can happen. But it's a special tournament, one that's dear to my heart and to the special to the club.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Jim, I see your hand is still raised. Do you have another question for Coach?
No, I'm good. I'll save it for Saturday.
All right, Jim.
Thank
I'm
you.
giving you a high five already now, man.
Thanks, Coach. I'll give it to you in person on Saturday.
All right,
Joe?
buddy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, and then we have one more game together for the season, man. You know, might have to bring some wine and a glass of wine for everyone to drink in the last press conference.
There you go. It's going to be a special one.
Make sure it's a packed room. All right, guys. Thank you.
estar con nosotros hoy. Vamos a empezar con Joe Chats. Joe?
Thanks, gracias, Gastón. ¿Qué tal?
¿Qué tal, Joe?
Curious, Toronto this weekend, what do you think makes them a difficult team to go against, understanding that you guys did win the first matchup this season?
Que de Toronto, ¿qué los hace rivales difíciles de enfrentar sabiendo que ganaron el primer partido contra ellos esta temporada?
Sí. Bueno, sí, todos los partidos son diferentes, ¿no? En Toronto hicimos un gran partido, un partido muy completo. Supimos entender los momentos, las situaciones. Eh, Creo que este va a ser diferente, obviamente. Nosotros estamos en casa. Las situaciones de los dos equipos son diferentes, pero bueno, nosotros queremos volver al triunfo, queremos darle una alegría a la gente y esperemos hacerlo de buena forma y que pueda salir bien el plan que tenemos para contra ellos.
Every game is different. In Toronto, we played a great game. We played a very complete game. We knew how to understand the situations, how to understand the different moments in the game. And now they're in a different situation. We're in a different situation than that first game. Right now, we're playing at home, and we definitely want to return to winning games and doing so, also bringing joy to the fans. And so we hope to do that well, to be in good form, and to play through the plan, play well according to the plan that we have to play against them.
Gracias.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Tim Hotze from Men in Red 97. Tim?
Hi, Gaston. I was wondering, Toronto has a final tonight, the Canadian Championship final. So likely we'll be playing key starters then. I wanted to know how your perspective on the game changes if some of their players like Federico Bernardeschi go 90 minutes tonight and therefore may not be available for 90 on Saturday against the Fire.
Bueno, son jugadores que están acostumbrados a jugar partidos cada 3 días de alta intensidad. No creo que sea un problema para ellos. Son jugadores, si me nombras a este jugador, es un jugador de jerarquía, un jugador de mucha calidad eh, y tiene facilidad para jugar este tipo de partidos y cada 3 días. No creo que sea un problema eso. Sí vamos a estar pendientes de lo que pase. Es importante conocer bien su forma de jugar y analizarlo bien para poder hacer nuestro plan y poder, como dije recién a tu colega, darle una alegría a la gente, que es lo que más necesitamos todos.
They're players that are used to playing games like this every 3 days. They really are players that are high quality, high class players, and they're used to playing every few days games of this at this level. So I don't really think that's going to be a problem for them. For them, the players that you mentioned, it's pretty simple, pretty easy for them to play at this high level. So it won't really be an issue. But for us, we definitely are going to be watching. We're going to be paying attention to the games to see what happens, because it's really important to see their style of play, to see how they play with the group. But more importantly for us, it's important to follow through with our plan so that, as I mentioned before to your colleague, we can give the people here joy, which is something that we all need.
Okay, gracias.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Jim Alexander.
Buenas tardes, Gastón. We spoke to Frank, and Frank mentioned the goal is for the team is to finish strong and make sure everyone plays hard. You, as one of the captains and leaders of the team, how do you relay that message to the guys in the locker room to make sure that the spirits are high and that everyone finishes strong those 3 games? Is there something that you say to them or do to relay that message from coach too?
Sí, estoy de acuerdo con el coach. Es súper importante terminar de la mejor forma, sumar la mayor cantidad de puntos. Em, a los chicos, obviamente, no estamos felices por la situación, sinceramente, pero bueno, tenemos que seguir. Quedan 3 partidos y tenemos que dar lo mejor siempre, cada entrenamiento, cada partido. Y seguramente si hacemos eso vamos a estar más cerca de los resultados. Entonces es dejar todo, estar tranquilo con uno mismo, dar el 100% y, y terminar lo más arriba posible, cosechar la mayor cantidad de puntos posible, que quedan 3 partidos y veremos. Pero sí, estoy de acuerdo con el coach de que de aquí hay que terminar fuerte.
I agree with Coach. It's super important to finish strong and finish the remaining games in the best way possible. There are 3 games left, and we have to go out there and try to get as many points as possible. The guys and I were not happy with the situation that we find ourselves in, but we're here at the end of the season. There are 3 games left, so we have to go out there every game and give everything we have, leave everything on the field, and just keep working hard. So that we can be ready, so we can be focused and we can be at 100% and just claim as many points as possible in these last few games. So yes, definitely, I agree with Coach that we need to go out there and finish strong.
Gracias, Gastón. See you Saturday.
Sí,
Última pregunta, se la damos a Liz Giménez de la ley. Liz.
Hola. Hola.
Hola, ya te escuchamos.
Hola.
Te escuchamos, Liz. No, ya no te escuchamos.
Ahí estoy.
sí,
Hola.
ahí te escuchamos.
Ok, ahí estoy. Perdón, perdón. Pues saludos. Me gustaría saber tu impresión, cómo vives este momento, tú que eres pues el capitán, el hombre de experiencia en este plantel, ya en la recta final de esta temporada, 29 puntos, que supongo pues no es el puntaje que ustedes planeaban en un principio de temporada. Y pues bueno, ¿qué le dices a los aficionados que pues tenían esas esperanzas de ver esta temporada al Chicago Fire en playoffs y pues bueno, una vez más se escapa esta oportunidad? ¿Cómo lo viven y qué le dices a los aficionados?
A los aficionados, obviamente, primero gracias por el apoyo de toda la temporada, siempre están, y para nosotros siempre es importante. Y después, sí, estamos tan desilusionados como ellos de esta temporada, no ha sido buena. Simplemente intentamos hacer nuestro mejor trabajo. A veces las cosas no salen como queremos por diferentes circunstancias. Pero bueno, no queda otra que seguir trabajando, seguir luchando. Eh, Como dije recién, cada entrenamiento, cada partido, intentamos hacerlo mejor. Trabajamos duro para eso. Y bueno, ahora queremos terminar esta temporada lo mejor posible en estos 3 partidos que quedan, eh, tratando de sacar la mayor cantidad de puntos posible y sobre todo quedan 2 partidos de local que le queremos dar alegrías a la gente y terminar bien.
Gracias, gracias.
De nada.
The question was just talk about your thoughts at this time. How are you seeing these final moments, this final stretch, and what message do you have for the fans? For the fans, first of all, and most importantly, I'd like to say thank you for the support. They are always there. They're always with us. And for us, that's very important. Honestly, we're as frustrated as they are. But we really do go out there and do our best and try to do our best every game. And as I was saying earlier, there's nothing left for us to do but to go out every single game and try to get the most quantity of points possible and work as hard as we can. In each training session and every game, we all go out there and give the best of ourselves. So at this time, with the final stretch coming up, we just are going for as many points as we possibly can and try to play good games so that we can bring some joy to the fans and do it in the best way possible and finish strong. Liz, sigue tu mano elevada. No sé si tengas otra pregunta. Ok. Muchísimas gracias, Gastón, por tu tiempo. Se te agradece mucho. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Gracias, Gastón. Thanks, E.
Gracias.